Hey everyone, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Anna and I'm currently on a nature walk. Today I'm going to be showing you all of the foods that I buy from the grocery store. I realized as I was walking that I have no groceries left and I need to go shopping. So I'm going to take you guys along for the journey. I'm going to be going to Sprouts and I'll show you everything that I'm gonna be buying. I don't buy all of my groceries at Sprouts, but I buy a good amount of my groceries at Sprouts because they have a lot of what I need in terms of animal-based foods, and they have a lot of raw dairy products from Raw Farms USA. Obviously that's subject to change because who knows, they're cracking down on the raw dairy products because they want to demonize foods that are extremely nourishing and healthy for us. But as of right now, I buy a lot of my groceries at Sprouts. I don't buy everything at Sprouts because they don't have everything I need. For example, they don't really have an abundance of beef organs. If I do find them, then they're usually overpriced, which they definitely are at Sprouts. I know they have beef liver. I've never tried the beef liver at Sprouts, but I think I'm gonna buy it this time because I am out and I really like to have an abundance of liver and have been eating it every day or every other day I try to. So we will see what else they have. But yeah, certain products I don't buy, like for example, their eggs. I'm also really picky about where I get my eggs. Even the Vital Farms ones, realized that they were being fed corn and soy. When I have certain cravings, I like to honor those cravings. And I like to just have an abundance of different foods around me, including dairy products, meat, eggs, fruit, good carbohydrate sources, honey, etc. I was vegan for 15 years, if you guys didn't already know that, and after having debilitating health issues, I started eating animal products again, and my health is starting to restore itself and I'm starting to feel so much better. So I just wanted to give all glory to God and take you guys along for the journey. I'm gonna stop rambling and show you guys everything that I like to buy from the grocery store, aka Sprouts, on an animal-based / carnivore diet. Alright, we finally made it to our local Sprouts, and I think we're going to start off with meat. And I'm going to show you some of the favorite meat products that I like to get. I don't like to get all of my meat at Sprouts. Oh, let's just skip past that Beyond Meat section because we don't need that. And go straight to the real stuff. We get beef liver, we get beef marrow bones, they have grass-fed, grass-finished beef patties, but first things first, let's start off with beef marrow bones. I like to get these to make bone broth, and I also just love eating bone marrow. Next, we're gonna get some grass-fed beef liver. I ended up caving and getting this, and let's see what type of ground beef they have, because I need me some ground meat. So I think we're gonna get the 3-pack of ground beef. It's grass-fed, grass-finished, or at least it's grass-fed. I don't know about grass-finished. Sometimes it's hard to tell. If it's not telling you on the package, it's probably not grass-finished. I'm curious what steaks they have available. I see they have a ribeye steak. They also have a New York strip steak as well as some sirloin. When I buy beef, I always make sure to get the highest quality that I can find, grass-fed and grass-finished if possible. And I don't really buy steak all that often unless it's a special occasion or I'm feeling in the mood for steak. I usually just go for ground beef or ground bison. Next stop, dairy. So one of the main reasons why I love Sprouts so much is for all of the raw dairy products that they carry that I get on a regular basis. Raw milk is something that I drink every single day, as well as I eat raw kefir pretty much every day, and I also like their raw heavy cream as well. Always make sure to check the date, so whenever it expires, some of them Oh, this one's $8.31 and the other one was $8.04. So obviously this is a better option. Do I get plain? Let me see. I usually either get plain or the original flavor. They both taste the same, honestly, in my opinion. Oh, this one expires even later. So I'm gonna go with plain today, or sorry, original. Usually plain because they have the added live cultures, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. So I'm gonna go with original. Next stop, we get our raw butter. I eat this food basically every single day. It has done absolute wonders for my skin, and I absolutely love raw butter. Also, as a tip, if they're running low on dairy products, you can always ask them to go look in the back if they have a new stock that they've recently brought in, because sometimes they'll have dairy products that are more fresh and have a later expiration date, which obviously you want something more fresh, because the dairy products that I buy when they're raw, they tend to spoil quite fast because they're raw dairy. So you want to get the latest expiration date that you possibly can, and it never hurts to ask. Next thing on our list, some raw cheddar from Raw Farms USA. I love to eat this as a snack, and I usually just buy whatever they have available in terms of the Raw Farm USA products, because they don't always have cheddar or heavy cream or what I'm looking for. Next stop, eggs. So we are in the egg section. This is usually the section that I avoid because they don't have any eggs that I like. I'll show you some of the options that we have here. So we have tons of options. We obviously have our classic Vital Farms, but I usually avoid buying those because they're overpriced and they're fed corn and soy. If I were to pick one of these options, I would probably buy these corn and soy pasture-raised eggs. Although they don't have the highest quality eggs at Sprouts, these are the ones that I go for. We purchased these, although I have done my research on a majority of these egg farms and egg companies and realized that they're just really not that high quality. But yeah, if I had to pick one, I would probably pick this one, or if they were out of these, I would probably just get Vital Farms, to be honest. So I really like this brand of sauerkraut. I also like this brand, but to be honest, I like a little bit of flavor. I also like the one with garlic, but they're out of that one. So I'm gonna try the golden beet plus dill. This is my first time trying this flavor. I like to eat this on my meat, with my eggs, etc. Next stop, Condiments. This is my favorite salt to get. It's made in caves, so it doesn't have any potential microplastics from the ocean. I also get Celtic salt. This one does come from the ocean, but I like to have just a variety of salts on hand to season my meat and to season literally everything. I put salt on absolutely everything. It has so many amazing minerals, and it helps to purify the blood. I love salt. My favorite section, the honey section. I typically get Heavenly Organics because they are certified glyphosate free. They also have neem honey. I actually have yet to try this one. I've only tried the white honey, which I really like. This one's more solid, and I like this brand because they're certified glyphosate free and they are raw honey. Now, I'm pretty sure that there's certain regulations that can constitute and make it still considered raw, even though they're actually heating it up. But upon my research, they do not heat it past, I believe it's a certain temperature that makes it still considered raw. Now, I'm still looking for 100% raw that isn't heated at all. I find the most success when I go to the farmer's market. I have a certain honey dealer that I go to, and their honey is completely glyphosate free and raw as well. But you want to make sure to ask those questions to the farmer before you buy. But this is my trusty Sprouts honey brand. I love eating honey by the spoonful. I add Celtic salt on top, or real salt, for extra minerals. I like to put this in my milk every single morning with salt on top as well for extra minerals. I like to add this to my kefir. I like to put it on top of my cheese as a snack, and really the options are endless when it comes to honey. It's such a great carb source, and I absolutely love it. So get you some raw honey. It's filled with antioxidants and it's so delicious. Next stop, fruits and vegetables. Let's start off with some organic baby tomatoes. I love to eat these cooked with some eggs and some onions. And let's go ahead and grab a bag of avocados for some healthy fats while we're at it. I love avocados. They're one of my favorite foods. Next, I think I'm gonna grab some peaches and some nectarines just because they're in season and they look so juicy and delicious. I usually just try to grab whatever produce is in season and looks delicious. I also got some raw carrots, some parsley, some green onions. Raw carrots I like to snack on, green onions and parsley I like to throw into random salads or cook into my eggs or meat dishes. And cucumbers, I like to eat them with my eggs sometimes. Of course, we need some onions. I either get red or white, just depending on what's more the vibe. And then, of course, we need some garlic. I like cooking this with my meat. Okay, our last stop, dates. Now, they have tons of different types. They have these types, but I always go for the medjool dates, and I get a nice huge tin because I eat dates pretty much every day as a snack with raw butter or just by themselves. They're delicious. Sometimes I even stuff coconut oil inside or coconut butter, but yep, these are the dates I get. Now, I would normally buy coconut water, but I don't really like that they have it in the cans here because there can be some harmful things in the cans that I can discuss in another video. So I normally like to buy my coconut water from Costco because they have coconut water in these like cardboard packages, if you will, and it's like 100% coconut water with no other additives. This one obviously has mango, but they have ones that are just coconut water or coconut water with pulp. I used to really be a huge fan of the coconut waters with pulp. Again, if I'm in a pinch, I would definitely drink this, but I mean, why would I drink coconut water when I could just drink raw milk? Okay, now here we are in cooking fats. My go-to is beef tallow. I cook all of my meat in beef tallow. Also, if I ever cook veggies, I cook it in beef tallow, which I don't really cook that many veggies anymore. But when I do, cook it in beef tallow, even cook my eggs in beef tallow. I think I'm gonna try to get some ghee because I'd like to start cooking my eggs in ghee. To be honest, I want the original one. I don't really like cooking my eggs in beef tallow as much. I'm sort of used to the flavor now, but I actually prefer more of a buttery flavor for my eggs. But I don't want to heat up my raw butter on the pan and, you know, tamper with its raw goodness. So that's where ghee comes in, aka clarified butter. I have yet to try ghee, so this is going to be my first time. Okay, here we have all of our olives. Now we have a lot to choose from all of the brands that they have and all of the different types. I personally like to get I always look at the ingredients because I like to get my olives with no olive oil because I don't know if the oil is stripped with seed oils, so I prefer just water. Now this one's just Kalamata olives, water, sea salt, and lactic acid. So yes, these are the ones that I like to get, the smoked pitted ones. Another good brand, I'm trying to think. Sometimes I do get the green ones, but again, you guys want to check the ingredients. I like to get the least amount of ingredients as possible. This one has ascorbic acid, so I try to get the one with the least amount of ingredients, aka this one. Coconut butter. I love putting raw coconut butter in between my dates if I'm out of raw butter. Obviously I prefer raw butter, but sometimes I like a change and I just like to put coconut butter in there. Sometimes I just like to eat it by the spoonful. I like to smear this on fruit and I just think it's so delicious. A great healthy fat, and if you haven't tried coconut butter and raw butter in between dates, this is your sign to try it. It's literally my favorite snack. We're gonna get some date syrup. This is literally just dates. If you look at the ingredients, just dates. I like to use this to make salad dressings if I ever eat a salad, which is pretty rare nowadays. But this is a good sweetener because the honey that I get is solid, so sometimes I need something that's a little bit more liquid or runny. You can also use maple syrup, but honestly, I really just like date syrup. Sometimes I'll even eat this with butter, like as a spoonful of butter, like as a snack if I just need some quick energy. You can really put this on anything as a sweetener. It just tastes like pureed dates and it's quite delicious. Honey alternative. Sometimes I like to switch it up between the date syrup and the honey. There was a few products that I normally like to buy that they ran out of, unfortunately. One, heavy cream, raw heavy cream from Raw Farms USA. I like to get it. And sometimes just make a chai latte and put some raw heavy cream in there, or I used to drink coffee, but I stopped once I started an animal-based diet. But when I did drink coffee, I would make this bulletproof coffee with raw milk and raw butter and my coffee, and I would blend it up and make it super frothy and creamy, and that was super delicious. And honestly, sometimes I just like to drink heavy cream just like that. I just think it's so delicious and it's full of so many healthy fats. But unfortunately they were out, and they were also out of my favorite ancestral beef blend that I like to buy. But that's okay because we got some ground beef and we're gonna make do with what we have. Here's some of the items that we got. I ended up going back and getting eggs because I actually realized I needed some eggs, and the ones at the farmer's market are fed corn and soy, so I ended up getting the corn and soy free ones. But yes, got some peaches, some onions, our raw cheddar, our raw butter, our favorites, our favorite honey, coconut butter, tomatoes. Y'all thought I was done talking? Well, newsflash, I'm not. I'm going to tell you some of my favorite ways and tips of how I like to eat my favorite foods. Carrots, onions, garlic. I like to add garlic to my ground beef, just like the whole clove, just to flavor it. And I honestly, arrest me, but I like to eat garlic. I like to eat the whole cloves, just not raw, but cooked. I love cooking it into my food. I love cooking onion with my ground beef, which is why I bought so many onions. And I also add my carrots and my onions to make my beef bone broth, which is super easy to make, especially if you guys have a crock pot. And if you guys want the recipe for my bone broth, I have posted it on my Instagram. If you guys don't already follow me on Instagram, make sure to go follow me on Instagram because I post the things that I like to eat on there, as well as recipes, as well as what I'm doing on a day-to-day, as well as scripture, as well as Bible study and theology and things like that. Parsley and green onions, I like to chop these up and eat them sometimes in a salad. Like I said, I'm not really eating a lot of salad lately, otherwise I probably would have bought some lettuce, but I'm trying to stick to more animal-based, so I just got a little bit of parsley and a little bit of green onion. Mostly like to use it as a garnish or cook it into my ground beef meat dishes or eat it with a steak or something like that. I like to put garlic on top of, or cook it in with my steak if I have steak. I don't eat steak all that often because it's quite expensive, and I actually prefer the flavor of ground meat or ground beef. I actually really like ground bison as well, but they don't really have the ground bison that I like at Sprouts. I prefer to buy my ground bison at Costco because they have a good price for the ground bison packs. And then sometimes I just like to eat raw carrots on their own with some goat cheese on the side or some raw cheddar. Like I showed you, they unfortunately don't have raw goat cheese or raw sheep's cheese at Sprouts, so I just get the raw cheddar, which tastes really good with some honey on top and just a raw carrot. I don't know, that's just kind of my thing. It's a good snack. And yes, if you guys want to see more recipes, definitely follow me on Instagram. I forgot to show you guys, I also bought this lemon, not to drink it, although lemon water is totally fine if you want to drink lemon water, but I don't really drink lemon water. I do like lime water with salt. I make my own electrolyte, natural Gatorade, basically super hydrating with lime juice, water, and lots of mineral salt inside. But that's not why I bought this. I actually bought this because I want to try to dye my hair naturally, make it more blonde. Lemon juice is supposed to lighten your hair if you have already blonde hair. I don't think that it'll work very well for brunettes, but yes, I will keep you guys updated if you guys want to know more about lightening your hair with lemon. My favorite, raw milk. I got myself a gallon because I drink quite a lot of raw milk. I probably go through a gallon every 3 to 5 days, just depending on what I'm doing and if I'm doing more activity, or if I'm doing a lot of activities out in the sun, then I like to consume more raw milk because it's very hydrating and extremely nourishing. But yes, I would say by myself, I drink about a gallon of raw milk every 3 to 5 days. It tends to go faster if I give it to my dog, which I do because she loves raw milk and it's extremely healthy for her. Beef liver, I ended up just caving and buying the beef liver because organ meat is something that I'm trying to consume a lot more often. I've only really ever tried beef liver. I've tried the ancestral blend, but I feel like that doesn't really count because it's just a very small percentage of organs that's in with the ground beef. But anyways, I caved and bought the beef liver, even though it was quite pricey, from Sprouts, because I like to cook this ahead of time for the week. I like to just fry it up in the pan with lots of beef tallow and keep small, like 1 to 1.5 ounce pieces cut up and stored away in the fridge, so I can just have it on hand as a snack or as a little supplement and just eat it throughout the week, whether it's every day or every other day. I try to eat it multiple times a week, preferably every other day or so, or every day. Raw kefir, I like to drink this almost every day, and I add in raw honey and salt on top just because I like the flavor of adding in the salt, and I think my body craves the extra minerals. I also like to sometimes add bee pollen on top, or frozen mangoes, or dates, or just frozen blueberries or fresh blueberries, or really any fruit that I have around. But yes, love me some raw kefir. I find raw kefir to be a great bedtime snack because the probiotics tend to make me more sleepy, and it just tastes good before I go to bed as a snack. Raw butter, y'all already know, I said I love to just eat this on top of a steak, on top of my ground beef. I like to put it in between dates, and I've been posting medjool dates with raw butter on my stories on Instagram like constantly. So if you guys don't already know about the the medjool dates with the raw butter, you can thank me later. You can just put it in between and stuff it up. If you want to see what it looks like, go to my Instagram, and sometimes I'll even stick it in the fridge for a few minutes to kind of solidify it. If I'm not in the mood for raw butter, I will also use coconut oil or coconut butter, and again, stick it in the fridge so that the coconut oil can solidify in between the dates. Sprinkle on a little bit of mineral salt on top. Like I said, thank me later. I didn't mention this, but I also bought these 000 gelatin caps. These were the biggest size that they have, and I am going to use these to try to make my own calcium supplement from my leftover eggshells. So I've been saving my eggshells. I'm going to crush them up, grind them up in the coffee grinder, put them in here as a calcium supplement. Here's some of my leftover eggshells. Make sure to wash them and dry them. I can also make a video for you guys showing you exactly how to make your own at-home calcium supplements.
Thank you for watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Period.